Peace, peace. This is your international sales and marketing hitman, your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, and you already know what it is, man. You rock it with the best. I am joined by my brother, Tech Amaku. And you are joining us for our weekly notary sales meeting. They have some juicy. This is your international sales and marketing this real quick. Your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, and you already know what it is, man. You rock this best. All right. So we got some really, really juicy content for you guys. We live, and then we'll be joined by a few other Ghost Squadians. But Tech, anything you want, your salutations, greetings, or anything?
Yeah, man. This is what we do on a weekly basis, bring you some updates in the notary industry. Notice I didn't say the notary business, the notary industry, because some people are approaching this like a business, some people are not, but we are definitely here for people who are approaching this like a business. And to me, the biggest news is the passage of the remote online notary bill that's in California. So that makes it illegal for notaries in the state of California to do remote online notarizations and the implications that come with that. So what does that mean for everybody? How is that changing the landscape of entire and how you look at the notary industry? So this is a meeting that we come together, come up with ideas, and then we take that head on, man. Share some ideas with you guys, see what's going on with you. Yeah, man, and hopefully you take something away from it. But this is how we rock. This is how we roll, man. Strap in. This is how we do it.
Indeed. So you're in California. When did this news actually get passed?
So it's been about 2 or 3 weeks officially. I want to say the mid-September, but now as recently as this past weekend, which is whenever you're watching this, but late September, just say that September 2023. For the people who are watching this in the future. But yeah, so yeah, now, that's the big news. And, if you know this about notary, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Most notaries are in the mortgage field, would you say? Real estate. All the title companies in the country are in California. So this being passed in California, this is not Maine. You know what I mean? This ain't, no diss to Maine or no diss to Delaware or anything like that, or North Dakota, but California ain't that, you know what I'm saying? It's okay for it to kind of be passed. People in those states have, the capability to do remote online notarizations, and it's convenient for them. Maybe they live in places where, all I gotta say is in California, there's hella people here and a lot of money here. That's why all the title companies are here. So then now for them to be able to perform to execute this entire thing online, it has implications that maybe you may not be aware of, maybe not, maybe you are, maybe you're not. But there's an opportunity here. But I'm gonna address it in a manner that is, for the individual notary, the person who has notary business, they want to get clients. Otherwise, you get caught off guard, man. You might be surprised by what's getting ready to happen.
Are you I don't want to use the word afraid, but are you concerned about how this may affect your business at all out there?
I would be concerned if I wasn't already using automation, if I wasn't already implementing some of those. Listen, whether the person gets it signed electronically or they get it done in person, they still got to get it done. All right. If you offer it to them electronically, you still got to get that client though. It's just, you got to actually get the client in order to actually offer it to them, whether it's in person, whether they come into your office, or whether you do it remotely. You still got to get the client either way it goes, however the pie is sliced.
Right.
So I've always focused and try to hone in and really try to emphasize how important that part is. Once I get the client, then, you know, something doesn't go as we expected, then we figure it out from there. All right, it's better if I do it in your home. Okay, maybe it's better if you come to my office, or we meet you at a Starbucks, or I come to the hospital, or maybe it's better if we do it remotely. I'm not worried at all, because I've already, man, I've dedicated so much time to try to get clients and get better at that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can do it remotely. Shit.
You know, I wanted to give a big shout out to Jasmine, because she was the one that brung it to the attention of the whole Ghost Squad thing. So shout out to Jasmine out there in Stockton, right? Is she in Stockton, ain't she?
Yeah.
So shout out to Jazz on that. I'd love to get her commentary too. If you know, hopefully she'll jump on later on. But now here, from what I understand with R.O.N, I've never done R.O.N, but is it true that you can notarize R.O.N from any part of the country?
Yes.
So I can be here in Chicago and I can notarize a document out there in California under this new R.O.N law?
No. So what I'm saying is, so it's one thing to consider whether or not you get something that's actually legal, right?
Okay.
If this is actually going to pass, because anybody could sign their name and then put something on the document, and you know, you ever have somebody or a title company or somebody say, "Oh, just put a line through the venue," you know, just cross it out. Oh, it says the state of Texas. Oh, just cross it out, put state of California. What? Or just cross out the county and put the county of, like, put a line, like a physical line through. Mm-hmm. So effectively, if you're in a different state, if you're in Michigan right now, and then you got a client that's in California, and then you're trying to, you know, notarize their, no, that's not going to fly, because that person is physically in California, right? That person is, the notary may be in a different state, mm-hmm. But in California, the notary has to actually see you. That's how the notary is able to identify you, verify you, because they can physically say, all right, you're a living, breathing person. You have blood in your veins and you have air in your lungs. That's how, and you're in front of me. I can touch you, right? But if you're on a computer and I don't know where you are really, mm-hmm. You can tell me that you're in California. Yeah, that's okay. But what if you're in Michigan? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So in order for that to be, so your car gets stolen, you just need to submit something to State Farm. You try to pull something off like that, go for it, take a shot. Right. You're trying to sell a house now, right? You're trying to buy some property and there's recorded documents that, or you're trying to get something that's like related to immigration. Mm-hmm. Like those documents get scrutinized much harder. So I wouldn't take no chances on those things. Yeah, California ain't one of them places, bro. Like, the laws here are so crazy. This is why people get sued so much here. This is why it's such a litigious state. So many lawyers are here. If there's holes in how you're doing things, bro, I would assume that everything's gonna get contested, right? Everything's gonna get questioned. Mm-hmm. And that's just in handwriting.
Right.
Shit, my mama said I can have a salt shaker. No, she left the salt shaker to me. Everything's gonna get contested. If it wasn't drawn up correctly, if you didn't pay somebody quality money and they explain to you what it can do, I would assume that everything's going to get contested. And that's, even though we know it ain't, but you should walk into it to the assumption, thinking that, all right, in the event that this is contested, my shit's bulletproof.
Right.
But now, this person signed this thing digitally, electronically. How do I know that the person was in California? How do I know?
Yeah, it's interesting how this thing is gonna play out, man, because I know here in Illinois, they only allowed 3 companies to choose to offer R.O.N. And because only 3 companies got sanctioned by the Secretary of State, they hit us with a ridiculous fee, right? So it was like, you had to pay for the software fee, then you had to pay for each remote online notarization that you did, which was like, I couldn't justify it because the demand wasn't high enough. But it was like, I wonder how they're going to roll that out in California. Are they going to make it an open market? And, if they're doing that in California, ladies and gentlemen, it's only a matter of time they're going to bring it to your neck of the woods. They already tried it out in different markets. Now, I know Notaries is spearheading this thing, which, I got to check to see if these guys are still, closing that deal with FedEx, because they just landed a big deal with FedEx as well.
Yeah.
So Notarize is interesting because they kind of showed their fangs, right? Recently, this year. And when I mean they showed their fangs is that they started to create something internally. What's up, Tahisha? What's up, Queen? They started to dismiss a lot of their independent contractors and started doing a lot of things in-house. And that put a lot of notaries on edge because they weren't shelling out as many assignments as they used to.
Yeah.
Right? So if a company does that once and they show you their fangs, and it was successful. Like they were able to eat off of that. They were able to eat some sheep. They were able to make profits off of that client and build their client base internally. They're most likely going to do it again. And the best example I could give you guys is consider Amazon, right? Amazon will look at your product. You will put a product out on Amazon. And if your product is successful, Amazon will duplicate your product and cut your market share, right? Walgreens does it. Walmart does it. Target does it. That's why they have their own brand, because they have a watchful eye of what's going on in the market. And if Tahisha has a really, really good product, they're going to say, you know what? How much does it cost to make what Tahisha makes? Oh, really? Okay. Let's duplicate that. Call it Marketplace or Kirkland, whatever or the Walgreens version of it, and then they start to undercut you. So I would employ notaries to kind of keep a watchful eye on that. Me personally, and I can be wrong, but seeing what R.O.N. Notarize has done already, I'm predicting that they're going to use this opportunity as a hiring spree. They're going to hire a bunch of people that are doing R.O.N., that are doing pretty successful on it. They're going to watch the market very intently. And then they're going to start brushing off independent contractors because they would make more money keeping everything in-house.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? And then we'll go to you, Tahisha, because you had a question.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you? It would seem like a natural thing to do So if I'm a big company, and put it this way, if I'm a small one person, one man, one woman show, and I actually spend about $150 a month just in advertising, then I'm going to be able to capture a certain amount of attention. But let's say I don't spend any money at all, which sadly is a lot of people. I don't contribute anything to my marketing budget. But now I got a big company who comes in, and then they not only do they have a marketing budget and advertising budget, but they can actually, whenever somebody is in Virginia Beach or somebody is in Los Angeles or in a certain city and they search notary near me, they can then just kind of ice you out because they're going to show up first and on top, or at least top 3. And then they just have the power to outspend you. So now somebody who's looking to get a power of attorney or a car theft affidavit signed, because I just got that just now, and that person, and this is why, like we say, bro, track what you get, because this person, how do they find me? Find you online. But if that person doesn't have an opportunity to even see your business, they go straight to Notarize. Notarize is great. Notarize does it online. And then you end up working for Notarize because you don't have any other option. I mean,
right.
If people stop searching, people ain't gonna stop looking for notary. Like, we got that. That's what I'm saying. Focusing on the act of getting the client, to me, has always been keep you bulletproof. But if the person's actually looking for a theft affidavit, lady, just book me, right? Complete automated, right? Doing this shit for years, right? Whoever gets the client first wins. That person looked for, and Notarize just flooded your backyard. You just allowed them, you just open up the gate and allow them to just flood your backyard. Now, here's the thing. So it doesn't make sense for me to go and advertise everywhere unless it ain't impossible, but it wouldn't really make sense. It would make sense, to kind of start in an area that you can control and then kind of broaden from there. But now I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
I can go anywhere now. And I don't even have to go everywhere. You don't have to go everywhere. And that's probably not a very smart thing to do, right? Like you say, let your market tell you what they want. Like you say it all the time. And this looks just like my landing page, don't it?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. But I know that certain parts of the country is going to have an elderly population. Las Vegas, Miami, New Orleans. So if I know that a lot of car thefts are in New Jersey, then I tend to, I can hone in on that particular market. And if you are not even used to this, or not even haven't been even exposed to kind of getting your own client on your own, and you've always kind of relied on signing services and Notarize and title companies, it might be a wrap, because you're going to either end up doing something for Notarize or doing it for someone like me who can actually get the client, and then I dispatch them to you.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't have to be that way, right? Your backyard you can control more than just your little, word of mouth friend circle. If you really want to operate as like a good business, that's what it really comes down to me. I've always looked at it this is such, people don't look for notaries who don't need them. You're looking for this. You need this because somebody is telling you to go get this, and it's on you. You got to go get this done. It's a really need-based industry, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get as many as possible. Only as much as you really want.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
I know that there are notaries out there that are not doing this. I know that. There's so many notaries in my area, and I know that people they're not putting in Like you say, all right, I can't get business. Well, people are still looking for notaries. Otherwise this wouldn't have passed.
Yeah, at 100%. I agree with you.
It's a marketing move to me. Notarize.
Oh, it's very strategic and very smart. They're man. It says right here that they already have done 3 million digital transactions. 3 million. I mean, 2020 was when COVID hit, right? So that was probably their real introduction to this thing. And they already have 3 million digital transactions with 7,000 customers already. So they're building up their customer base. Pay attention to what's going on. They're building up their customer base, and then they're also getting a piece of every notarization that happens on their platform single-handedly by themselves. Tahisha, you wanted to add anything? And Jazz, I'm glad that you're here, girl. I wanted to, I gave you a shout out earlier on the show. I definitely would love your commentary on this. But yeah, go ahead, Tahisha.
The only thing I was going to say, I know places like, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, places like Notarize, they did, because I'm signed up as a contractor or like, an individual. But if I'm not mistaken, from what I've been told, Notarize is a good place to just get practice. Mm-hmm. If anything for R.O.N, but if you're actually trying to build your own clientele, so it's good for practicing at least how to, go through the process. But then after that, I think they only pay like something low, like $5 or something, they said, or $10 per R.O.N that you do. Mm-hmm. When you're signed up with them, just to take calls. But I've sat on there, not for long, but say for one day for like 30 minutes, and the calls are just coming through quick to the point. It's like, well, how did that come through already? And it's already gone, kind of like how them signings were at one time. Yeah. From signing services. But even though Notarize has grown, there's actually there's a company called Blue Notary. I know they're up and coming, and a lot of people are kind of migrating over to them. And they actually just partnered with, who was it? They just partnered with someone to pay notaries more. Like, I don't know. I think they were talking about paying like $25 per notarization that you do. The notary gets to keep for themselves. So personally, I have not done a R.O.N. I've done like in-person electronic notarizations, but not a R.O.N. And then initially, there's actually some people who will take it upon themselves to just use a webcam and just Adobe and do a remote online notarization that way, because they don't want to pay, the platform fees for some of these software companies.
Right. So you're doing, are you doing notarize.com right now? Like
I'm signed up with them. I'll say that, because even if I sat there, because I said one day I was like, well, let me at least try to get practicing and see what it's about. So yeah, those things were just flashing up. You hear the little ding, and then next thing you know, you look and it's gone.
Is that
one
fast?
Right. So one thing I did was, there was an individual who was building their own remote online notarization platform. And they said that it was, built by notaries and it's built for notaries. And they had a really great deal as far as buying in or being an investor. And I actually invested in that. But the anticipation originally was for it to get up and coming or up and started, last year sometime, which it hasn't, because it ran into some snags, I think because of the name, which was similar to Notarize. So they ran into some legal snags with that, because it was one of those, I guess, things where it was, I don't want to say for sure because I don't know specifics, but all I know is it has something to do with the name that they were using. So from what because I did question about it about a week or two ago, and I was told that, you know, they're still going to come with it, but I guess they have to really rebrand themselves actually. As far as that. So I haven't been able to actually, you know, perform a R.O.N, but I know there's some, you know, notaries that do it successfully, and more people seem to be trying to get into it because now the selling point tends to be, oh, this is your way as a notary of working from home. But to be honest, I mean, there does tend to be an investment that does have to go into it, and it may not necessarily be profitable in some areas. But honestly, I would rather get those calls while everybody's trying to work from home and do R.O.N. I'd rather get those calls and go out and, you know, provide the service in person, honestly. You know, so I just feel whoever wants to jump on the R.O.N bandwagon, that's fine. So I figure it leaves more customers, you know, for me to be able to have access to in person.
Yeah, the climate is changing.
Yeah.
The question you got to ask yourself is, do you have a business? And you have to be honest with yourself. Do you have a business? Do you have a step-by-step, step one to step done process for a person who's looking for notarization to get that executed? Do you have that? Yes or no? And if you don't have that, you don't have a business. So you can end up making a decent living. And by the way, this is my opinion, by the way. This is all my opinion, 100%, okay? I'm just somebody who's built a good agency. I've coached notaries, you know, I wrote a book. I got a little bit of practice. You know, I've blended two professions and have done quite well in this industry. But what I'm saying is, this comes down to straightforward. Do I want to work for somebody, or do I want to do it myself? I can try it myself, and I might not actually know how good I might be good at it, right? If I don't give it a shot, or I can just wait for a blue notary to give me, you know, a couple signings, and maybe I'll get 30 of them in one day and I'll walk away with $400. But if I get 4 in one day on my own, I could probably walk away with 1,000. And it would make more sense for my time. I would. And here's the crazy thing about this, Tiger, and Keisha and Jasmine. When I say, like, what do you have a business? What it comes down to that. Here's the thing. You can have a notary operation and a tech company in one. All you got to do is come up with your systems, though. Come up with, you can have, your system can't be sitting behind a computer waiting for a blue notary to give me that's not a business.
Right.
But if you have, all right, when somebody calls City Center Notary and, you know, we have a professional greeting, and then we kind of redirect them to find out what it is they got going on. We go up and fill the assignment, notary gets paid. And I got a process for doing it. That's a business. So that's what it's really going to come down to. I think people are going to find out. Because California, what I'm trying to say is, California, when stuff happens here, it's not a joke, man. Like, this ain't Montana. This ain't Arizona where you got to your driver's license every 10 years. Bro, they're smart people here. And if they get it to fly here, then it's like, all right, I'm
surprised.
Where else?
I was very surprised about California because
me too.
With so much, it seems like there's so much potential for there to be fraud. I mean, probably in any state, but California, with all the goings-ons that they have, you know. So really, I'm thinking, you know, transactions in certain places like California, New York, Chicago, places like that, you know, those people that are known to quote unquote have money, you know, the stars that, oh, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this property. Let's go ahead and do this. Go ahead and do it online because right now I'm out of town or out of the country or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I said it's surprising that they're even, and I know people are pushing for it, and we're pushing for it there, but I think they're gonna have to maybe put extra safeguards in place, it seems.
Now check this out, you guys. So this is the CEO, Eric Swink, right? And this is real interesting for me because he's the CEO, but look at the tail end of his thing. So this is what you will be competing against, right? This guy is the CEO for Rock Solid Funding.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to what you said, Tech, is like they are investing large amounts of money to acquire customers. And this is what you would be competing with if you're like, oh, well, my Google business listing, you know, which is free. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of people get a lot of business off of that. But this guy who CEO officer for Rock Solid as well as Notarize, or let me see, I'm not sure
Notary.
for Notarize, but if he uses Notarize, he is going to he's going to promote that. Or if he is the CEO, I got to see if he's the actual CEO of Notarize. I want to see who that is. But you guys go ahead and keep talking while I look this up. CEO.
So, Tech, a question I have for you. Do you see yourself maybe possibly expanding what you have to include R.O.N?
Absolutely. I have to
Right.
now, because I have to eat somebody's lunch now, because if I don't do it, then this guy that Tiger's looking up is going to do it. And I know this area better than they do. I just do. Like, I know I can put up an advertisement for theft affidavits. Oh, your car got stolen? It's Oakland, California. Your car got broken, BIP, breaking in progress. Now you have to submit some documents to State Farm. Yeah. Forward the file to us. Let us go ahead and print it out, and we'll show up to your doorstep and get it signed. Or you can do it electronically from the comfort of your couch. But I got to get the client first in order for any of that to happen.
Here's the CEO of Notarize.com right here. Pat Kinzel. Young dude. Moving on it, man. We completed the country's first ever online real estate closing, and now make it possible for anyone to click to buy, sell, or finance their home. So you can see this is their primary focus right here.
Bro, it's California. It's houses.
Yeah.
Bro, if you're in a mortgage-related ancillary adjacent industry in California, bro, you made money over the last 12 years. You made bread.
Oh, look. So this is funny. Yet another example of horrible fraud caused by forged signatures and notarizations. So this is the message he sent. That's going to happen, right? That is going to happen. So they will have to find a way to safeguard that.
But they make a good point, though, because he's talking about the in-person notarization, the handwritten one was forged, or there was some discrepancy. But if you do it online, then it's impossible. Now, listen, bro, I've gone into places where they didn't even want you to go inside the room to walk. They're like, can we just take your journal, and then we'll take it up to our grandfather's bedroom, and then we'll have him sign it, you know, because he got cancer and we can't be exposed to everything. So we'll just take your journal and then just show us where to put his name. Like, people try that stuff. They don't do it in person. What, you don't think they don't do it over the internet as well? They've tried it with the in-person notarizations, bro.
This goes back to what we were talking about earlier, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys can see, there's been a huge partnership. It's on their website and everything now with FedEx. Notarize. What FedEx never offered a notary. Let's get that right.
They got sued. They did, but they got sued.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because they weren't checking IDs.
So now they got rid of that liability, and they put it on Notarize.com.
Boom. Masterful.
Now, UPS is already offering, but now FedEx is ahead of the curve because they're going to offer online notarizations, which is, I know they're just looking to see if they can tap in to another stream of income for the company, which is going to be real interesting to see how they do that. But FedEx ain't no small company, y'all. They're not going to just do business with someone that gets a whole bunch of independent contractors. They are going to set it up where, all right, we'll do business with you if you have an internal staff, because we know that you can oversee it. You probably have project managers over it. We can pay. If we have a problem, you can rectify it really quick, same day. Versus if everyone's a independent contractor and FedEx has a problem, what's the likelihood that you're getting a phone call from Notarized and they're asking you to make those corrections? These guys are moving fast.
Yeah.
And they're moving big.
So you think they'll have a staff versus?
Oh, I know they have a staff.
Yeah. Of notaries, is what I'm saying.
100%.
Yeah.
Because let's look at it this way. If Jan, who is an independent contractor, is running about, let's say, she does about 5 runs a day. That's okay for notarize.com, right? But if they can hire their own staff member to work in a cubicle, pay that person $16 an hour, and all that person does is run online notarizations, the maximum output has quadrupled.
Yes.
Because that's all that this employee is going to do. Just run. Versus Jan, who's the independent contractor, may say, I have to go pick up my kids from school. I'm going on vacation. I'm not going to be available to do the run right now. They can oversee that. And not only do they get to oversee it, if there's any hiccups, any problems, they'll have the general manager or project manager that can oversee it and make sure that it gets executed correctly. Oh man, this is a big move, man.
Yeah, that's inevitable.
I ain't even hating on them, man. I was like, I'd do the same thing.
Right. And yeah, wouldn't it seem natural? Like,
yeah.
If you had that capability, it would seem natural to do that. Now, the whole thing about, I just get worried about, or not necessarily worried, but I could just caution notaries who are like Jan, in your example, because life happens. Don't you have to go sometimes to, go grocery shopping, and you may not be able to do a notarization at 4 o'clock? But notarize in that example you were sharing, okay, we don't need you then. We can just do it. We got it in-house. This person only does know. Yeah. Oh, phone call. Hang on.
Yeah, so while Tech take that phone call, I mean, this is really, really interesting, you guys. There's a major play that's happening right here. Shout out to LaShonda. What up, LaShonda? Jersey in the building. This is a major play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Jazz.
Hey, sorry.
Talk to me, dear. Talk to me. I've been trying to get you on here. I would love your opinion, commentary on how you feel this is going to affect not only California, but other states as well. The floor is yours, dear.
Yeah, it's definitely going to affect everywhere for sure. Like Tech was saying, it's a surprise, that it's passing through. They do have additional stipulations with it, of course, like California always does. So, to get into the remote notarizations, you're going to have to take an additional 2-hour course on top of the regular 6-hour mandated course. You're going to have to get a new commission, whole new commission.
Really?
Yeah, so they're definitely adding additional stipulations with it. Even for the platforms, they have to do certain things as well. I believe it has to be like encrypted some sort of way where I guess the client's information has no way of leaking, and they'll have to do like an online journal. You know, I also find it funny that like Notarized, they're saying, oh, you know, this is going to help prevent fraud, but you know, from my experience with online notarizations, there's an option for the client to do like one of those digital signatures. And if you're doing a digital signature, that's not an actual signature. So that can easily be forged. If you're doing something like apostilles and you're doing documents for other countries, some of those countries aren't going to accept it. They don't accept digital signatures. If you're working with countries like China or some of these more stricter countries like that, they're not gonna be having it. So that's also something to keep in mind when it comes to this remote online notarization. So but yeah, everything you guys have been saying on point for real. You know, it's definitely a crazy time that we're in. And like you're saying, you know, these online notarization platforms like Notarize, they can easily just say, okay, I'm gonna get myself a couple of employees, pay them a little bit of money, and they're gonna just do this all day in and day out, you know. And whereas we're, you know, us independents, we're like, okay, you know, you need to be paying this amount, you know, per notarization, where they're just doing an hourly fee for their you know, for their staff. So yeah.
You know, I was thinking, because you were talking about like you have to record it, and I believe that you have to keep record of it for at least 10 years, Tech was telling me, right? Now, and you have to, see, here's my thing. Here's one of the things I just completely dislike, is that you're going to dictate to me how much I can charge. I ain't feeling that. I'm not feeling that whatsoever, right? And not only that, you want me to keep an electronical journal, which also opens me up to getting audited.
Yes.
Right? I don't fuck with the feds. I don't like the feds on nothing that I do, right? I don't like the taxation. I don't like none of that. And I'm sure I'm not the only person on that. So those guys coming in and looking at my books, or heck, they don't even have to come in to look at my book. They can look at my books remotely and say, hey, you got to pay us X more dollars for taxes on this. Not really feeling that at all, because they have their set pricing. And you know, just knowing how notaries roll, whatever the Secretary of State says, that's what they do, right? And that can pigeonhole the notary entrepreneurs of the world. Well, the notary entrepreneurs, they gotta make their bread regardless. I'm gonna say that. But when it just makes competition even more fierce, because if this person, like 9 people charge $30 for a R.O.N, and then you're 100 and change, then what does that mean? It's like you're not even in the same ballpark. Now, some people will be like, you know what? I'll go with the higher price person, because people equate a higher price to being more quality. That's just human nature. But for the most part, they're lining this up for notaries to cut their own throat and step on their own feet.
Tiger, not only will they ask to see your e-notary journal, but also there's actually supposed to be video footage of the transaction.
That's serious.
Yeah,
That's
supposed to
serious.
be video.
So let me ask you this, Jazz.
Yeah.
How are you strategically positioning your company for this new arrival of R.O.N? Have you given it much thought on how you're going to do it? Are you in the process, or do you have a pretty good game plan on how you're going to line things up?
Yeah, so I'm still in the process. I'm still really mulling it over, but so far what I'm really thinking is, like Tech is saying, definitely offering it as an additional service, along with mobile notary service. What I'm feeling like is going to be the standout between us independent notaries and platforms like Notaries will be, the personalization that we can give to the clients and the more options that we can do for the client. Yes, we're definitely going to have to be very strategic about positioning ads as well. We're able to understand what our clients need better. Like we know, okay, this area right here, a lot of people are looking for this particular service, say power of attorney. So we can be more strategic with our ads and with our just getting ourselves out there and specializing in certain things. Whereas Notarized, they're Notarized is specializing in online notarizations. So it's not really a specialization. It's pretty broad brush, okay, you need this notarization. Okay, we can do it for you. Whereas us, I would think that what would be best for us is when we speak with our clients, of course, you're going to have to be getting your clients, but when you get your clients, speaking to them, understanding what their needs are, and then fulfilling their needs, solving their problems, solving what they need to get done. So I think it's going to be essential. With R.O.N, it's going to be essential to know your area, know the services that are needed in your area, and to do it, to talk to your clients, to speak to them, empathize with them, tell them that you have the solution to their problem.
I hope you guys paid attention. Jasmine just dropped some serious gems on how to position yourself for when R.O.N, if it hasn't been introduced in your state already, that it is coming. It's coming. Offering R.O.N and offering mobile service, and I'll even add one to that. I will even call it en route notary service, meaning, let's just say you don't feel like driving to the customer's house and the customer doesn't want to do R.O.N. Set up a location in between your home and wherever the client is coming from. I've done this many, many times where I will, it'll be like a Sunday and I'm chilling at Starbucks or whatever. I don't feel like driving, pretty much. But I'm chilling at Starbucks and I would offer them an en route service where the customer comes to me and I would use Starbucks as the office, right? So even when the customer comes, I'm not leaving Starbucks when the notarization is done. I'm waiting for the next client to come. And I damn near had a heroin line outside of Starbucks. I see you, Tahisha. I had the crack line popping in Starbucks, and the manager wasn't complaining because everybody that came in there was buying a damn drink. So it was good for business. It was good for me. I would even, I had one of the baristas come and drop off the order at the table I was doing the notarization, and I'd give them a tip. Yo, y'all have to put on like take off the shirt and tie type of penguin suit and get creative with some of the things that you're going to do. R.O.N can be a great additional source of income for you guys. And I'm gonna let you guys know right now that a lot of baby boomers ain't fucking with R.O.N. I don't give a shit how attractive it looks. There's like, I don't like checking my email. Don't send me somewhere where I have to upload my ID, upload my documents, verify where I lived in the last 2 years. Listen, can someone come out? This is why we pushed the Power of Attorney Masterclass, because, you know, even though Notarize.com offers Power of Attorney for people, there's a different type of personalization that goes along with that, like Jasmine was saying. And for you to come out to the house and someone's bedridden, come on, like for real. If you're bedridden, the last thing you're gonna do is look for a laptop or sit in front of a desktop. So there's still a lot of opportunity out here. I just think this is for those that position themselves well, you can parlay this into a nice additional income stream. What say you?
Bro, either way, people are going to be looking for the cheapest notary. It's crazy how, put it this way, there's two types of customers. There's a customer who knows what a notary is, and there's a customer who doesn't really know what a notary is. They just know that they need one. They don't really know what I can do, you know, with the trust. You know, I just know that I need a power of attorney. I don't know how this is actually benefiting me. So I don't truly know what the value is. So I'm just looking for the cheapest. Who got it for the low? Who can I go to, whether it's Notarized, whether it's UPS Store, whether it's FedEx, whether it's Blue Notary, whether it's City Center, who can I get it for the cheapest and the lowest? And if you don't sell me a number that I'm satisfied with, I'm just gonna keep it pushing. That's a person, see, that's the type of client. There's also the type of client, bro, this dude's a physician, they're a doctor, they're an electrician, they're a scientist, they're a sociologist, whatever. But they also got kids that need to be able to travel, and they know how important the document it is. They know that it's supposed to be done yesterday, and they waited 2 weeks. And then I got to get, so listen, can you get somebody to do it today? Listen, I don't want no remote stuff. I don't want no online stuff. Will this hold up when my daughter gets to the airport? I don't want no misunderstandings. I don't want no problems. Can you do it in person if that's easier? You can come in person. If you do it online, then so that person, so you as a business owner, who are you going after? Who are you speaking to? There's two of them. There's people who, it don't matter what you say, they're not gonna pay you. You can't pay them. Like, it don't matter. You charge them $20 to speak to 4 of the relatives for 20 minutes. And they don't want to pay you that. And then there's a person who says, listen, car got stolen. Insurance company said I need it. How much you charge? $125? Cool.
What time can you be here?
What time can you get here?
Mm-hmm.
Now? Can you come now? All right, cool. Come in half an hour then.
Yeah, Boo Bye 23 on YouTube said some people would prefer a wet signature anyway, and that is true. It's like, look, there's too many loopholes for these e-signs. I want a wet signature with the wet stamp and everything. So yeah, that's very true.
Tiger, I'm about to give you $8 million for your company, and I need you to have eyes on you to say that you signed this piece of paper. I'm about to hand over $50 million to your company, Taisha. We about to write you a check for $600 million, and you're gonna do this online? Bro, I'm about to have attorney after attorney sitting at that doorstep, waiting at your office, getting ready to witness you sign this piece of paper. Now, I can say that there's businesses who might benefit from this. For example, Lyft, the rideshare company. I know the lady who signs off their licenses, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, yeah, we did it electronically for a long time. And then some companies or some countries wouldn't accept it. So there's some that we have to do in person. That's how I met you. And that's what I learned. I was like, okay. So even though there is clearly the preference on a large scale for a large company. It might not have that same effect for the one-off, for the family, right? For the couple that's just signing a lease agreement for their apartment. But for a company that does volume like Lyft or Uber or something like that, I can see how I can see how Notarized could approach them and say, we have a fleet of notaries who can knock these out right now. And they work for us. Vetted. So you can ice yourself out of this industry real quick, or you can look at it the other way and see it as an advantage. I don't know, man. I think it goes either way. I think that, but if you're not using no type of technology right now, man, this might bury you. Not now, not tomorrow, but I think over time it could. It would make it a lot less fun. Put it that way. You wouldn't have as much fun.
Yeah, shout out to everybody on YouTube, by the way. The chat is looking good. Shout out to Booby23. Shout out to LaShonda. Shout out to everybody on here right now. We got a few people on here. Type in your questions or commentary. We'll read it out and give you a shout out on the show. Yeah, big news, man. Big news. I know, Tech. You didn't think it was gonna come to California, huh?
Nah, I mean, put it this way. I didn't say it was impossible, but I'd say that I was like, listen, I know the number 3 tax attorney in the country, in the state, tax and estate planning attorney in the state, and she's like, listen, I ain't having nobody signing electronically. Nah, not in California. Not in California. This ain't Rhode Island, bro. Here, people are crazy here. If you tell me that all right, I know this might be a little crazy for some of you guys to think, but this stuff really happens. You got a house that was built in 1923, over 100 years old, Victorian style. It's in a terrible part of town, but it's worth $1 million. Not because of the condition of the house, but because of the location, because of its proximity to so much other value. But the taxes on a $900,000 house in California is going to run you about 1.3%. So every year, even though this house has been paid off 50 years ago, every year you're going to get a tax bill for about $14,000. $7,000 in April and another $7,000 in November, right? Now, somebody gonna pay that. Somebody gonna pay that. So grandma dies, left the house. It was paid off. Grandkids got the house now. Or somebody, if the house wasn't put up as protected in trust, now it's in probate. Somebody got to pay the lawyers. You know what? We just gonna sell a house. We're gonna be done with it. I need everybody to sign this piece of paper and say that we getting ready to sell this house. We gonna just, nobody got $5,000 to pay a probate attorney to go and do this. We just gonna sell a house.
Yeah.
You live there, you work there, you work there. So you gotta get all the people together. Everybody gotta sign. I'm gonna do it remotely. Hell no. Not in California. Nah.
I want to ask somebody a question. Tahisha, have you taken a phone call from for R.O.N yet?
A phone call for it?
Yes.
Have I? I want to say I have. Somebody did inquire, asked me if we do R.O.N.
And how did that phone call go?
Actually, they contacted online through Google Chat. And they asked if we did, remote online, if we can do remote online notarization. And I was like, unfortunately, at this time, we do not offer that service. But I actually did, in that case, I did refer them to someone who I know that does, she's actually a notary in Northern Virginia. Mm-hmm. That does it. Usually when someone has a question about R.O.N in Virginia, I refer them to her. Based off of, me seeing her online and, knowing that she's knowledgeable about it. And she does quite a bit of R.O.N business. Last time I referred them to her.
And that is a perfect segue for our commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not have the Notary Special Ops Bundle package, I will highly suggest it, because if you are taking phone calls for R.O.N, or you're just taking phone calls for in-house and mobile notary service, this bundle will help you out. You'll be able to get access to the $1 million call script. Also, we have the Control Chaos Notary Training Summit, which is a sales and negotiating. It's like almost a 3-hour video, plus the automated call script. Tons of bonuses, call tracking system. It's the only workbook that you're ever gonna need. We may just add tech, and you let me know what you think about this. We may have to create a R.O.N call script, depending on how different it is, right? Like if there's no difference to it, I think what we have already is like solid, it's strong. But if there is like some things that we would need to set up, and we can identify some upsells, cross sales, down sales with that, then we may create a R.O.N call script for you guys as well. But check out the link in the description or in the chat to grab your Notary Special Ops Bundle package. It's on sale right now, $37. It's a $497 value. You could get it for just $37. All right. So, oh, by the way, I wanted to give you guys a taste of what it looks like here. So this is what the book actually looks like. It looks really good. You can flip through the pages. I just have it set up like this, but you're gonna get the $1 million call script. You're gonna get the bonuses. Here's what the call script looks like. I know it's small. You gotta purchase it so you can see what it really is. And you get a whole bunch of other stuff. Tech?
Yeah, I wouldn't play around with this. Now, getting the customer, this is like step number 1. And really what it comes down to is because you gotta get people to call you, gotta get people to contact you. When they call you, then what happens after that? Don't guess. Why guess? I started noticing tremendous success when I stopped guessing. I stopped winging it, basically. And after I read the Rise of the Smart Notary, I'm like, all right, let's go. Because people, you gotta understand, when people, the person who's looking for a notary, they're not looking for hamburgers. They're looking, it's not like they're shopping for big screen TVs. You know what I'm saying? This is a very unique individual, and they're looking for this. They're looking for some direction, some help, and putting that in the call script. It's giving them exactly what they called you for. No wonder that people say, "Oh, I'll call you back," or "No, thank you." Wait, how much am I paying for this? This sounds bootleg. I ain't paying for this. Click. Like, avoid all that. Avoid all of that.
And you know what, Tech? And that's why the window to close the sale is so small, because people are looking to get something specifically done. And if you can't deliver a solution to their problem immediately, they're going to find somebody else in real time in a short period of time. So your window, it's not like a person getting their credit done where they'd be like, you know, I've been trying to get my credit right for the last year or two. This ain't that industry. This is the industry where I just got a letter that needs to get notarized by, you know, next week. The window is very, very short. You have to move really fast or somebody else will be eating your food in front of you, burrito, verde sauce, all that shit. And you'll be like, what happened?
What happened? I've been looking at Notarized trying to get signings. And I'm like, bro, you can a little bit slightly different of an approach, and you can make completely different. Completely different. You have to approach like a business, and it makes it's more fun. It is. Not only do you grow personally, but you develop personally. You know, you uncover some power that you might not even knew you had. And you understand, damn, all right, now I got that part out of the way. All right, now I can focus on some other stuff on how I can improve efficiency, how I make this a better experience. God, I got that out of the way. But you can't skip that step, man. You just can't.
LaShonda said she ordered her book, her workbook. Shout out to you, LaShonda. Jersey in the building. By the way, I saw that video of you doing that power of attorney on how it's very purposeful, right? It's very fulfilling on how you help families. That's what I've been preaching to people all the time, is like power of attorneys is a very unique sector of the notary business, is because when you help somebody, like people actually cry at the, some of these signings. You become like one of the family members when you're doing power of attorneys, which is huge because they refer you as a member of the family. It does position you to be a family focused notary practice. That's why I love it so much, because it fulfills me. Not only the money part is secondary, it's like the last thing, but being able to help a family member and be like, oh, thank you so much for coming out and helping us through this process. I love power of attorneys. I'll do that shit forever. I'll be in my Rolls Royce driving to the client's house doing power of attorneys, bro, because I like it that much.
Right, nonstop.
Yeah, so I saw that Notarize is offering notarizations for power of attorneys. I'd love to see how that one works out. It's not here in Illinois. It's not it hasn't caught wind yet. I probably had maybe 3 or 4 phone calls, and 2 of those phone calls came from the same client asking me about do I offer remote online notarizations? So I'm not really concerned about it coming here in Illinois. It's not a hot topic right now. But when it does, I have to see enough of a demand for me to move on that, right? If I don't see enough people asking about it, I'm not even going to bother wasting my money on it. I want to set it up where the customer pays for me utilizing the platform for Notarized. I want everything to be customer funded versus it coming out of my own personal pocket, if that makes sense. So until I see a strong demand for it, I'm not supplying, that drug. I will not supply that drug if the demand is low. You want me to supply Oxycontin, but Percocet is the hottest shit on the streets. I'm not going to do it. I'm going towards Percocet.
Yeah, people show up and they asking for it, and that's one thing. Right. But if you dedicating a ton of energy and resources into something and no one's actually asking for it,
Notary World said, when did they pass R.O.N and Cali Tech?
Recently, within the last 2 weeks, like the 14th or something like that.
Now, what's this date that they said 2030? Like, what's that? What is that about? I'm not, because if they passed it already, I'm trying to understand, like, why are they putting the date 2030 on there?
Let's read.
Yeah.
Let's read. Okay. The Secretary of State informs his legislator of the governor in writing on behalf for the January 29th that the technology project necessary to implement statutes related to online notarization will not be completed by January 1st, including the detailed status of the technology report. Let's see. More. Let's get my way. This employs organization. An online notarization platform shall not be authorized for use by a notary public in California, and a notary public shall not provide online notarization for any principal pursuant to the article prior to the registration with the Secretary of State or prior to completion of the Secretary of State's technology project necessary to implement statutes related to online notarization. The Secretary of State shall complete the technology project no later than January 1st, 2030. Unless the Secretary of State informs us later in writing. All right, so basically what they're saying is they have until this thing is going to be rolled out over the next 7 years, and it's going to be, so they're going to be doing themselves a deadline here.
So does that mean that it's active now?
No, there's another date. Something about 225. Let me find it.
These guys got,
roll out. There you go.
They have lobbyists, man. These guys are in politics to be able to push this thing through like this.
I think there's this language kind of alludes to that you can start as soon as the 1st of January 2025, because you then agree to the rules for California.
Yeah, we are going to keep our finger on the pulse with this one, because it's I mean, it's a forecast, right? It's letting us know what is to come. You know, these are lawyers and lobbyists that are actually, you know, trying to push this through legislation. They're making laws around it. This ain't nothing to, like, you know, just brush off like that, unless you're in a market where there is like zero demand for it. Then you really could care less what they're doing.
Yeah, maybe you're a notary and then you're just trying to get on the platform. Maybe you're like in the middle of Paducah, Kentucky, and you're trying to get notarizations in other places. I don't know, but I wouldn't rely on that though. I wouldn't go that route. This is all notaries about money. Don't forget that. All notaries about money.
Yeah.
This move included. This has everything to do with capturing more of the mortgage industry. People who get these documents signed in person, we can push houses through faster now. We can get you approved. We can get you signed. We can get this contract closed in less than 15 days. Sign here. Did you read the contract? Did you read the contract?
Notary World said it didn't pass. The governor has to check off on it.
Talking about the R.O.N bill? Seriously? I don't know what she's
now this is what I say to that. Politics is politics, and Illinois is heavy when it comes to the politics. It ain't nothing more than a couple of checks going towards the campaign, Notary World. That's all they need.
Yeah.
Some nice juicy checks going towards his next campaign or re-election. It's a done deal.
He's running for president too, by the way.
That's DeSantis or no?
I'm talking about Gavin Newsom. This
really?
Is governor.
Yeah. So you know he's gonna be having those banquets.
He's got presidential aspirations for real. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We will be continuing this coverage. We're like Yahoo Finance for the notary business, the Wall Street Journal for notary entrepreneurs. We're going to keep you posted on everything that's going on. Don't forget to grab the notary special ops workbook. It is a fantastic workbook. Also, the Power of Attorney Masterclass will be taking off October 23rd. If you don't have your tickets for that, I will highly suggest you get that, because this is a sector that's it's actually booming now. There's 10,000 people every single day that is turning the age of 65. Power of Attorney is in high demand. Baby boomers are, really tying in a lot of their finances. Thank you, Tex, for that. So definitely suggest that you grab your ticket for the Power of Attorney Masterclass. Tech, you want to plug anything in, brother?
Nah, I'm about to roll out of here. I would just say that make sure that you continue to get your own clients, practice on your delivery, your sales negotiation, record yourself. There's remote online notarization stuff. It's going to be like you have to record yourself giving an oath, record yourself doing an appointment. You have to keep the audio and the video. You might as well start now. Start recording yourself, get the thing down. What up, Gina? We out.
Hey, what up, Gina? You called us in the tail end, but we'll definitely jump back on real soon. We might do a double bubble this week. But stay prosperous, ladies and gentlemen. Stay successful. Keep your eye on the prize. Don't get